Hey, hey there, guys. So, I wanted to introduce Fit to Thrive, really because I've stepped back for a long time from it, longer than I intended, but very much because it was very clear to me that I kind of didn't have a direction in life, but not really for the site specifically. So I kind of wanted to come back with something that made it clear, and I faffed around. And then I thought, well, that's really actually the point. The point really being that I'm a dad first, and I work full time as well, and have a wife. Therefore, those things all take a lot of time to do well. And Fit to Thrive is about doing things well. And then a big part of that is fitting it all in your life, but also accepting you've only got 24 hours. You've only got the amount of money you've got, the amount of time, the energy you've got. All those things are what you have. So it's about doing a lot with what you've got. So often it's a lot with a little, that kind of thing. So instead of saying, well, I'm going to show you how to live a perfect life, it's like, don't do a perfect life. And when I studied tons of stuff like everyone else does, but I can't stand the way health and fitness is done. It just annoys the heck out of me. And gyms and diets, no, because we never had that in the past. I like ancestral health. I like the concept, but I also sometimes feel, well, it was harsh back then. What I feel is I want to have a balance between, there we go. Thought I'd want to get something just right, get the exposure there, focus on me. Oh, there we are, messing about, see. This really defines or show you very much what I'm doing. I can't do it all. So, yeah, we'll have that. It's nicer. This is my life. I could script all this, but I'll take forever thinking it needs to be perfect. I can then go on about all the information I want to share. It's too much. Or I can point out, I'm just living my life. I've just spent the morning looking for sofas because that's what we need to do right now. And I find that the way I break things down are to really figure out my priorities and do a few things well and then let everything else be. That's really important to me. And that is because all the best people that I see, whether it's reading through books, whether it's in life, you find that we all have to focus on what matters. And then everything else will take care of itself. So I led with what's most important to me, and it's my kids, it's my family. That's what I've been focusing on. And I needed to come up with a way where I can run a site, I can try and help people. And you might make money out of that, but at the moment I realized, again, trying to make money, when you talk with people about it, it gets in the way. I'm not interested because I'd rather do something well than get paid for it. If I'm going to get paid but not do what I want to do, then who cares? Because at the moment I've got a good job. It's not my passion, but it's a good, solid job, and I'm well respected. And it's a job, I'm a software programmer, and that's only booming at the moment. It's all doing fine. It's online education. That's kind of the field I'm in, and really that's where I want to go anyway. I just want to make it easier for people to live the life they wanted to live, and very much the one you want to live, and accept that you are where you are. So I've been living that, I've been doing that, so I can talk about it. And so it took me a long time to get the car that I want now, and now it helps me understand the car I want next. But it's within a budget, within time. It's a family car. It's not a Ferrari or whatever it is. It's one to help me go camping and other things. And I started with the idea of, what do I want in my life? I figured that out, and I led with it today. I want my family. I want my kids. I want a good phone simply because I'll have a good camera in. And when I have a good camera, I take lots of photos, and those photos are memories. And what I want to do is have lots of time spent with the people I care about, doing the things I love. So I'm making memories that I treasure. And every time I have a photo or video of that, which I go through all the time, they remind me of the things that I love. And that makes me happy, because right now we've got all these reasons, all these things that are pushing us right down, because we're in the middle of COVID, and I'm in the UK, we've got our challenges, everyone else around the world is worrying about it. What helps me is that I really have spent years looking at biology pandemics and other things. I mean, not an expert in anything kind of thing. You know, when you read a lot, you watch a lot. I was listening to This Week in Virology for years before this even came out. So I went straight there, and they had the guy, Anthony Fauci, and all the other people involved in this stuff straight away on there, because, well, this is what they do. This Week in Virology, This Week in Microbiology. I'm obsessed with how humans work and how the body works, how biology works, and history, and how we solved cholera in 1850, I think it was. It was in London. It was John Snow sorted that out. And now we've got to figure this out again, and it's fascinating watching how what we thought was a good way of doing it, because we're British, we thought we'd done it. We hadn't got it right, and I'm listening to the people advising the Scots. That makes a lot more sense, but that's all complicated, and life is complicated. So what I'm doing again is I get to go back through the memories that I took, the photos that I have, the videos. They're making us laugh, and I missed going through that, to be honest, in the last few months, because I was busy with other things and whatever. But I'm trying to reestablish the patterns that gave the meaning to my life, made my life happier, all because what I was doing was being me, doing things I want to do. So it fits the budget I've got, rather than expanding the budget and spending tons of money and finding a way to make it fit in. And that's what I find the health and fitness way, the diet way, is that they suddenly add lots to what you do, and you've got to follow that, and it's rigid and it doesn't adapt. Whereas me, I just go on holidays. I just go for day trips. I can tell you how I went to Bath, which is a place where the Romans, there was a Roman town in the UK, and it taught me about history. I got to wander around the place, so you get your 10,000 steps. I did things that actually we did 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago. Same as going to London, same as wandering around. We're nomads. We are supposed to move around. And whether we are going to be Stone Age and learn from that, or whether we're going to be cave people and learn from that, or whether we're going to be out in the plains of Africa or through Siberia, it doesn't matter. Humans have lived everywhere. We can adapt to everything. But all the societies that did well, they adapted to the life that they had to lead, as well as the one they wanted to lead. So they came out with what they want once they started to figure out what they need to live through. So right now, what I see is, given all the modern brilliance we've got, I think it's wonderful to live now. With hospitals and with the phones we've got and all this technology and the life we're living, we've got problems of having a life that's too good, because essentially we're getting problems that the rich used to have, because King Henry VIII always got a picture on one of my sites of him, and it's like, that's what we know, is this big obese guy, and he's a king, and we're living like kings and queens. And when you go through history, you'll find that the royalty and the rich people had all these problems, and now we're having to deal with it. So my approach is to figure out, we need to have a culture that works for now and embraces all that we've got. So I've been figuring out doing that, and I'll share over time with it. But that's really what, on my site, Fit to Thrive, I've got lots of pictures of places I've been and things I've done, and bits of fun with the kids. I haven't explained it really well, because I didn't know what people wanted to know, and I'd rather you give me comments, tell me what's confusing, tell me what doesn't make sense, ask questions. But all I really do is say, what do I want in my life? What do I need to achieve that, to make that happen? So you need money, you need time, you need the right people, you need resources, whatever it is, you need tech, or you need to go on holidays, you need tickets, things like that. Well, how do you put it all together? That's the fundamentals. So want is about your bucket list. Everyone's got a bucket list. If you don't have one, make one and start going through it. Start saying, I'm going to go through my bucket list this year. Well, you won't do everything, but you'll do some. What can you do? And all these restrictions, part of life. You know, it's blundered. It is. For me, I found before it was money, before it was, I couldn't do stuff because I had kids, because I had to pick them up from school, because I'm making this video right now, because I've got to pick them up in a little bit. Everything, there's a pressure on you no matter what. But what can you achieve this year? There'll be stuff. I achieved things through lockdown. I bet you did. Lots of people did. And there were opportunities. There always are. That's what I've been reminding myself all the time, because I'm not sitting there saying I know everything. That's the point. I'm coming here saying, no, I got... All the time I'm just sitting there thinking, how do I figure this out? How do I figure that out? And I find people that are better than me, and they share. And right now, I just need to point out, I mean, this is my day off. We figured it out, so Mummy and I can each have a day off, so Monday to Friday. And I've been looking at sofas and then do a little bit of this video, and it's all over the shop, isn't it? I'm not at the level of all these wonderful YouTubers. They're doing a brilliant job. I'm just sitting in the car. I thought I'd find a little spot. It's nice, and I know I can wander around here. There are loads of spots, but the first one I picked, there were people in the background. But I live and I know lots of the beautiful spots where I live, and it's really easy. I'm just going to go for a wander around here, get a bit of food. And I find ways to fill my day with things like this that I love, the beauty. But that also means that I work long hours, because I include looking after my kids as part of work, because it is. It's like, they're not always that easy to work with. Times they are, but it's like a giant meeting. When you pick your kids up every day, you have to be there at a certain time. You've got to turn up ready to do something. You don't know what that meeting will entail every time, because sometimes it's watch them in the park, but you've got to be there because I've got young kids. And you've got two, you don't know which one of them is going to be grumpy today. Oh, there's just something all the time. And it's the same at work. You're like, you don't know if the email you're getting or the phone call you're getting is going to be, yeah, it's all sorted, or no, we need more, or what are you doing, and all the rest of it. And that's life, isn't it? So my challenge has been a workaholic, to be honest. So that's an advantage, because at work it's like, yes, I'm good at getting the job done, but I'm really good at ignoring life. So I realized what I need to do is just share. The site is about, every single photo on there pretty much is one I took, same as videos. That was the plan, so that I don't first off need to worry about copyright, but also it's about saying, well, create your memories, just create memories. And over time, that helps you find the food that you like, that fits you. Then you find the movement that you like, that fits you. If you do that, you'll be happier, because it'll be something you actually do. Because losing weight, if that's an issue for you, is all about finding something that you'll repeat. Because all the diets actually work. They're just, no one wants to do them. They're not very good. And they don't really fit the way we actually work. They aren't based on nature in ways that you'd think they are. So for me, it's just find a life that fits you, that makes you happy, and then explore, go out to restaurants, try different food to see what you like. I use that with Mummy, who's just a normal person trying to get through, and I showed her how she could like veg, because she was gone about not liking vegetables. But I grew up as a vegetarian, so that's easier for me. So I got into meat, but going back to veggies, it's nice because it's the cheapest thing in the menu, and you get to order the most expensive vegetable dish they have, for example, so it's really full of flavour. In lots of places, Indian, Chinese, French, Italian, whatever. But I actually choose it generally over the meat dish now, because I like the flavours. And that's because I've experimented, and that's because I've found, and also because I can go a bit cheaper, and then I can spend that money on other things. That's all I'll do, is I'll literally spend all my money, but I want to get as much as I possibly can for the money I've got. But also want to have good flavours. I want to have good textures. Same as going on holiday. There's loads of stories that I could talk about there, but I want to know what's in your way. Have a look at your bucket list. If you don't have one, make one. Bucket list is just, what do I want to do with my life? What's most important to me? Because I want to fly, and that's my focus now. It's like, okay, how do I fly? So I'm also learning how to get rid of my glasses, because I suddenly found a bunch of people who have got rid of their glasses. That's blown my mind. So I always thought you could. And things I have done is I've overcome my fear of heights. These are the things that I want to go into more on my site. And I've always been faffing around trying to write articles that are perfect. And I've noticed, I just need to know what questions people have got, because I'm solving my problems whether I tell anyone else or not. So I had a massive fear of heights, but then I decided to get rid of that. And so I thought, or overcome it. So I did. And with help from my mum, I went slowly on lots of roller coasters, and eventually did a stunt flight where I did loop-the-loops and stall turns and all sorts of stuff. I could tell you about that. So because I wanted to fly, and I thought, I need to get through this. And so now I can actually, the only issue would be my eyes. So I'm going to try and get rid of glasses, because otherwise I'm like, yeah, it's money, and I've even figured that one out. I'll do microlighting because it's a lot cheaper, but I can still be in a plane. As I have a friend who has done paragliding, and that's just a bit too jumping off a ledge, very dangerous kind of thing. He says it's all fine. I'm like, wow, really? So yeah, but I want to fly, and I've only got so much money. I have to take my kids everywhere. So where do I go? It's all these challenges. Okay, we've all got them. That's just one. Another one was I like playing tennis, I like being active, but if you're active, it means you'll get injuries. It's part of life. Every sports person has injuries. I was teaching my wife about that. She thought, oh, but you never tell. She's got a bad shoulder at the moment. I'm like, oh, my word, I've been through so many bad shoulders. She said, you never said. But, oh, when you got a bad shoulder, try turning your head. When you're driving around like that, or the kids will be like, oh, Daddy, look at this. You got a bad shoulder. Or as a dad, I mean, mums get their things too, but like having to lift sofas and whatever when you've got bad back, bad shoulder, bad hamstrings, bad. Oh, my word. I'm really glad that because I did a sports science degree, I used this to learn how to recover and how to get on through, because you'll find that every sports person in the final is probably half the team's injured, or the person's injured, or they've got some kind of injury and they're managing it. And I didn't know that. And then once I learned, I'm like, okay, fine, better figure it out. And as a parent, that's all you do, is you just sit there thinking, I'm either tired, I've got some kind of injury, it's either your foot, it's something. And, but now I actually wake up with something, might be a neck problem, and then I can figure out either it needs to work on something, or it'll be all right. Half the time, midway through the day, I don't even notice it. I've moved on. I didn't know that. And it's sports guys that show me that, and other people like artists and bosses and stuff. I've just learned so much through life, but very much with the idea and the knowledge of how the body works, how we actually work. So I've gone into all sorts of other things, just like so many people around. And all I'm seeing now is finally tons and tons of people out there are really sharing things I want to share too. And I want to help you find them so that you can find your issues, or you can work through things together and get things done faster. But the biggest thing that I notice is no one's really telling you how to do it. They'll give you lots of logic. But for me, all I do is do. I just go and take the kids and play. Or I have time when the kids aren't around and I play. So I'll just fix the garden, I'll do housework, I'll go on holiday, and I'll be preparing for that holiday for the whole year, because when you go on holiday, you want to enjoy it, and that's where your walks come in. That's where you might try different food, because you're going to go to a different place. So I wanted to have this as a 10-minute video, and it's 17 minutes. I probably won't have time to edit it. It'll go up on YouTube. It's in the middle of the price they got there, or the times they got there, but it's what I've got. And anyone can help me make a better job, which anyone could probably help me do a better job with this. Please do, please share. If you've got a bunch of questions, please put them out there. My things to use, talk about what you want, what you need to achieve that, and how you're going to do it. Those are the three things. And all it comes down to is relaxation recovery. That's the fundamental thing that I didn't mention on there, but that's always what it is. Learn how to recover. If you learn how to recover in life, I do it at work too. I always make sure I have extra time available. So however long someone thinks it's going to be, I'm like, well, then I need to schedule extra. You know, so it's the same as measure once, actually measure 3 times. I will also say, well, however long I think it's going to take, no, I think it'll take 3 times as long. That is a good guide for life, because I'm a professional. It's the same thing in life with the kids. If so when we do book a holiday, always book a day off afterwards, things like that, Always have time to recover, or know that when you go back to work, you're going to be tired. So accept that and do admin or something, accept and own the fact that you're tired. So own that you're going to need to put time in your day to recover from all the pressures, all the things that are on there. And so that one of the key points is, don't spend your life constantly needing a recovery the next day. Learn how to recover within the day. Or, of course, do a thing where you do have recovery days and you build it in. Everyone has their way, and you will change all the time. But as a workaholic, biggest thing for me is to remember I don't need to push as hard as I think I do. The less I'm pushing, because I naturally push very hard. You may not be like that, but I push so hard, it causes all the problems. So any workaholic will appreciate, because it's just what I do. So the more I learn to relax and recover and find ways to do it, that's where my movement, my mucking about with the kids and going on holidays, that's really helping me, because it's by asking myself what I want, I realize that I don't want to work all the time. I'd rather do something I love, and that's less work than other work, if you get what I mean. If you enjoy what you do, it's not really work anymore. That's what I'm aiming towards. So I currently have a good place to work, so I'm not in a rush for that to change, but I do want to help people. And I don't see the answers out there in the world that I want. So I want to put that out there and show you how I can just go on holidays, really enjoy Christmas. It's one of the healthiest times for me, because I can eat anything. My wife is shocked how much I can eat. and not put on weight. She's very jealous, but that's because I understand the physics, the chemistry, the biology, and I go out and I play a lot. I muck about. That's the reason for it to be about adventures. Adventures are the way adults play. Kids play all the time, and kids will teach you more than you can imagine about how we're supposed to be, because they come out naturally doing all the stuff we're supposed to be. And as you learn, in all cultures, what we find is that we start to become adults, and it's the more adult you become, the less healthy you become, particularly in the Western way of doing things, because you sit down, you don't do anything, and you're basically working, and work is not healthy for you, but play is. So adventures is my adult way of talking about play. Be adventurous in your food, try stuff out. Chase the flavor, chase the texture. In your movement, look at this. I'm surrounded by this. I know where all these things are in Milton Keynes. I didn't used to. But once I started to realize, just get out and look, I just find it a stunning place. But everywhere I go, if I'm taking people out, I'll show them places they didn't even know existed. I didn't know existed. I'm seeing a bird up there. Now I keep finding all these peregrines and other things hovering about. Around here, you've got egrets, which are apparently rare. I didn't even know that. I see them all the time now because I'm looking for them. So nature's been wonderful for me. And this is a long journey of 10, 15 years, really, my whole life. And I used to walk around literally this part, had no idea how wonderful it was. I've been walking these bits for like 30, 40 years. And this particular bit as it is has been existing like this for about 1,000 years or something like that. And I'm loving the history. Oh yeah, I'll just show you around there. I've got this spot because that's beautiful there. You might see it with the cows and the beautiful church over there. And they're all over. Milton Keynes has all these villages, and it's really just a giant park, and that's how I treat it, with food in the middle. This Corona's just ruined that, but that's how I do it. I just wander across, and I show the kids it, and they love it. Just leave them there, just sit and chill. That's what I do. So the challenge of being a parent, working full time, you know, having the house, having all the other things on you, all the pressure, all the things you're carrying. I got all that, you know, but it's other people who've helped me really put it together, the journey that I'm on. They've shown me how to make work easier. A lot of that's been being honest and saying, this is all I can do within the time you're giving me. That's an important conversation. I have it with myself. So I'm going to end it there because it's twice as long as I want it to be. This is life, isn't it? But hopefully that's a fair idea of what I want to achieve. Okay, there's tons I want to talk about in terms of biology, whatever. But now you might not freak out if I'm talking about Michael Levine. He's a proper scientist. There's loads of guys doing DNA and doing biology and stuff. I really love the intense stuff. I might put that on the site. But really, it's just about asking questions of yourself about what the heck. Oh, look at that. That's a very different kind of crow, isn't it? What do you want from your life? The time is passing. You cannot change that. Money can come and go, but the time cannot. It's spent. So what do you want from the time that's going to pass in the next week? That's where you start. Then you think of the month. Then you think of the year. So is this going to be a week that's building to the month? Or is it going to be a week that's going to build to the year? Or is it just go and do something now? Because we're just coming out of lockdown in the UK. I don't know where you are. But sometimes it's nice just do something just for this week. Just enjoy yourself. Give yourself something positive. Because I was doing that the second we came down. I've just the ability to pop out and go to a park that you would have normally gone to at any point. But it's in the bag now. We went, we enjoyed. The kids got to see it. Got some photos, got some memories, something to go through. Done. Whether it's food, same thing. We've kept a few pubs open, you know. Buying local, you know. There's always a positive way to think about it. So have a think, post, you know, ask some questions. Yeah, I'll be back here sharing this. And if you can help me make a better video, that'd be great too. So take care, enjoy yourselves, bye-bye.